What if your greatest failure didn't come from standing before kings or soldiers, but from the voice of a servant girl by the fire? The Garden of Gethsemane had just been torn apart by chaos. Soldiers stormed in with torches, spears, and chains. Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss. The disciples scattered like sheep struck with fear. But Peter could not leave. Just hours earlier, he had sworn to Jesus, "Even if all fall away, I will not. Even if I must die with you, I will never deny you." His words burned in his memory as he followed at a distance. The soldiers dragged Jesus through the narrow stone streets of Jerusalem. Shadows of the torches flickered against the walls. Whispers spread through the night. "They've arrested the Galilean teacher. He's being taken to the high priest." Peter's heart raced. He shouldn't be there, but he couldn't stay away. Love pulled him forward. Fear held him back. At the high priest's house, Jesus was led inside for questioning. Peter slipped in quietly, blending with the servants and guards in the courtyard. The night air was cold. A fire had been kindled, and people huddled around it for warmth. Peter sat among them, stretching out his hands toward the flames. He tried to steady his breath. The fire crackled, sending sparks upward. Around him, people murmured about the arrest, some mocking Jesus, others curious. Then, a moment he never expected. A young servant girl, standing nearby, looked at him closely. The firelight flickered across his face. She tilted her head, studying him. Finally, her voice rang out in the stillness. You also were with Jesus of Galilee." It wasn't a soldier, not a priest, just a servant girl, young, likely overlooked by most. Yet her words cut through the night like a sword. Peter's stomach knotted. Eyes turned toward him. The crowd leaned in. Fear surged through him. If they knew he was a follower, he too could be arrested, beaten, killed. He forced a nervous laugh, shaking his head. "Woman, I don't know him. You're mistaken." The girl's eyes lingered, but she said nothing more. The moment passed, and the others returned to their conversations. But Peter's chest heaved. His first denial. The words tasted bitter, but he swallowed them. Minutes passed. Another person caught sight of him and whispered to the others, "You are one of them." Peter protested, more firmly this time. "Man, I am not." But doubt spread in the crowd. The accent of his Galilean tongue betrayed him. Finally, another spoke boldly. "Surely, you are one of his disciples. Your speech gives you away." Panic overwhelmed him. His voice rose in desperation. "I swear to you, I do not know this man." He even called down curses upon himself to sound convincing. And then, clear, piercing, unmistakable, the sound of a rooster crowing split the air. Peter froze. Time itself seemed to stop. At that very moment, the Gospel of Luke records something remarkable. Jesus turned and looked straight at Peter. Across the courtyard, through the flickering firelight, their eyes met. Jesus, beaten, bound, standing trial for crimes he did not commit, looked at the one who had just denied him 3 times. Peter's breath caught in his throat. His mind replayed Jesus' prophecy from just hours earlier. "Before the rooster crows today, you will deny me 3 times. It had come true. Exactly as Jesus said. His heart shattered. The bravado, the promises, the loyalty he swore, all gone in a single night. Peter rose quickly, stumbling away from the fire, past the guards, past the curious eyes. Out into the dark streets he fled, tears streaming down his face. And there, alone in the shadows of Jerusalem, Peter wept bitterly. His sobs echoed against the stone walls. He had failed. Not in front of kings or soldiers, but in front of a servant girl, a few bystanders, and his Lord who saw everything. This detail, this moment with the servant girl, is easy to miss. But it shows something profound. Fear doesn't always come from great threats. Sometimes the smallest voices expose our deepest weaknesses. Peter's collapse teaches us that no human strength is enough to stand without God. The same Peter who had walked on water, who drew his sword in Gethsemane, who boldly declared he would never fall, was undone by a servant girl's question. And yet, this failure was not the end. After his resurrection, Jesus restored Peter. 3 times he asked, "Do you love me?" And 3 times Peter answered yes, one declaration of love for every denial of fear. Peter's night began with bold promises and ended in bitter tears. But it was not the end of his story, because the same Lord who watched him fall was the Lord who lifted him back up. And that means your failures, too, can be redeemed by his grace. If this story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it today, and drop your thoughts in the comments below.